My dad was a real successful quarter midget driver. Pretty much won everything growing up. I guess he thought that I would, benefit off of his success. He was a real intense kind of guy to be at the track with, and he wasn't afraid to let you have it.
He drank a 12-pack, and it ain't my fault. If he broke your bike, then it's your damn fault for letting him ride it. Now, so help me God, I won't bring you back out here again, son.
Saturday night Supercross track.
Second place is the first loser. Do you understand me?
I never had hair as good as he did. Growing up, he had this big silver haircut that everybody seemed to like, and I was the kid, with the bad hair. So I guess in order to continue his legacy, he thought I should race in a wig. So he'd put me in this big long wig and say, "Go get him, boy," and I was just supposed to do it.
You did pretty good out there. How do you feel about the day's race?
I did pretty good.
What place did you get?
I think I finished pretty good.
That's not bad, John. What kind of sponsorships are out there for you? I mean, they dominate the sponsorships for John.
Bad Billy's Bait Shack, Rob.
All I want to do is race, Daddy.
I got a Carhartt jacket.
He operated, my dad operated on the principle of extreme confidence. I don't think there was ever a time when he doubted himself.
Bus number 1 is on the gate. We're fixing to get this weekend's program underway with our first.
Corey looking beautiful in the sunlight.
Tomorrow.
My dad had this group of guys. It was the pit crew. We called them the pit crew. It was like an insane posse of just these wild-looking dudes. He always said we had to have it for crowd control.
Clark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's going on here. I just kept my head to what's going on, but it's pretty tight.
Look like you got lipstick on. Can you explain that?
I'm taking all the hoes up here, on these motorbikes. It's tough here, Justin Guarini,
That's American Idol, man. How was it?
Yes, me, I should have won it.
From Justin to...
Sitting in stage, and my dad had these pre-race psych-out maneuvers he'd run on everybody. He was real confrontational, and he wasn't afraid to call you out. If it meant that he could deteriorate you before the start of the race, he was going to try it.
Don't be trying to get all these things inside here. Just step away. Step away from the bike. Step away, sir. You're too close.
Look, he ripped my seat, dude.
Thank you.
He ripped my seat, dude.
You ripped his seat. All right, you got to ride this now. He's going to ride that. Don't be nervous. If you let the nerves take over, you don't get dead lines. You hear me?
Hey, I need that shirt, man.
Give me jersey back. You're to be ashamed.
I just saw it laying around. I didn't think to pick it up.
You can't have nothing no more. They're going to steal it. You can't have nothing no more. Hey, now's your last time to get out. Get out while the getting's good. He's going to embarrass every one of us. I'm telling you now. It's not a joke. This is not a joke. He will smoke you. Look at the back of his helmet. It says, "John, you'll be rated for how many laps you have. If you're not embarrassed, too bad." You need a haircut.
Myself in pretty good shape. But my dad, he had this fitness training ballet, man, I don't even know what it was, but I had to do it, and I had to do it in staging, or he wasn't happy.
Your leg on the fence. He's belittling the sport! There's too much on the field. Well, this kid's gonna race it. Is that your twin brother, dude?
We'd be sitting on the starting line, and my dad would come flying at you with these outrageous pep talks. Man, his head would start flopping around. He'd be yelling at you and trying to get you psyched up for the race. You know, and it may have been my imagination. It may have been, but I swear I heard stuff rattling around in there. But as crazy as his pit talks were, you know, before the race, I swear it worked. I had this strange sense of confidence that would come over me before I raced every single time. All about the rules. He was Mr. Enforcer. He'd go ahead and take the position. I'm in charge of this track, and if anything happens that I'm not happy with, I'm going to call some people out on it.
Slow down in the Taurus.
My dad was an innovator. He's the one that came up with the idea of a pit stop. And, you know, a pit stop in motocross is pretty much unheard of. But throughout my whole career, I don't think I ever did a lap without a full tank of fuel and a tight chain. Safety was first and foremost on my dad's list in competition. Dad was known for real good starts. He knew that the start was the most important part of the race. And, you know, we'd be at any track, anywhere, and there was a crowd of people wanting to know his secret for a good start. And he wasn't afraid to show you. He'd do a demo right there in the middle of the pits. Nighttime, daytime, whatever. He was going to show you how good he was at getting starts.
Here comes Cole Nelson now, back off his start straight away, working his way back around the outer perimeter of the track, over toward the finish line. Real tough now. Ray Gillis has moved up. Our track number 36, Landon Mathis, moves up to third. We lost number 222, Curly. Leaving finished second the first one. He was running second.
After growing up and living under this guy, I can pretty much say that his slogan every week of total domination pretty much rings true. He lived by those words.
We'll call him TD. That stands for total domination. You will recognize that just as soon as he receives a home shot award.